Hello, thanks for tuning in to Tech Talk Tuesday. My name is Brian Mirsky. I'm the owner of Veranda Technologies here in Brick Township, New Jersey. We service Monmouth, Ocean, and the surrounding counties in this area. So this week we're going to talk about ransomware. Encryption viruses, crypto viruses, cryptoware, may have a few different names you've heard it by. If you haven't heard it talked about lately, you're not paying close enough attention to the news. It is not the first time that ransomware has occurred, by the way. It is, however, the first time it has swept the globe, essentially. Many countries got hit. In the first 3 or 4 hours it was out, it was in about 10 countries. Within 8 hours, it had hit close to 50 to 60 countries. And within the 24 to 48 hour weekend, from Friday afternoon to Sunday afternoon, I think we topped out at 130 plus nations around the world that were infected with this particular strain. So what is ransomware, and why do you care about it? Or why should you care about it? Unlike traditional viruses, we've had viruses for decades on computers. And as long as we have technology, we will have people attempting to harm the technology and cause pain. Traditional viruses were caused by threat actors who wanted notoriety or a quick thrill, maybe. I don't know what you get out of it, but the goal was to cripple a computer, make it not boot, make it not work, cause time damage to the recipient. And then about a year, well, maybe 2 years ago, somebody woke up with the idea that they could profit from viruses. So the goal now is not to cripple the computer, not to make the technology non-functional. It's actually quite the opposite. They want to keep the computer booting. They want to get you to a desktop. And in most cases, some of your programs will actually work. But as soon as you attempt to open a document, a PDF, a Word doc, Excel, pictures, music, they won't open. And you'll see a message. In fact, your entire wallpaper will typically be a message that indicates that your files have been encrypted. And what they do is they put a very long encryption key or password, effectively, on every one of your files, and they hold it ransom, and they say, we want money, and we will give you your files back. Which sounds pretty shady to begin with. You don't know if you pay if you're going to get your files back, and sometimes you don't. Typically right now, they are rewarding the people who pay. They're doing the right thing, if you will. I don't know if you can say that after they've done the wrong thing. But after they've encrypted the files and people pay the ransom, most of these individuals have given the key to allow you to get your files back. At the moment, that's because if they don't, word will get around very quickly and people will stop paying, and they will have, it negates their whole cause to begin with. That may change in the future. If these quickly spread as quickly as they have been, they might make a quicker bang and get out. So the problems with paying, by the way, Veranda Technologies always discourages paying a ransom for your data. That's the company line. I understand that if you lost everything, you're going to have to, right? You need it back. I mean, you can't close your doors. You can't lose 30 years worth of corporate data. Nobody wants to lose a lifetime of photos or financial documents or anything like that. So understanding that you'll probably have to do it, we still say don't. The reason we say don't is quite simply because, A, by paying it, you're giving incentive for them to do it again. And don't think for a second that if you, as an individual, pay, you won't be marked for future attacks, because you will. Overwhelmingly, people that have been hit with ransomware are hit again with ransomware, because now they know you're an easy target. You're probably not going to quickly fix all of the things that allowed them to get in there in the first place, and you were willing to pay. So there's that. There's also, you could pay and they could take the money and run and not give you your files back. They could attempt to give you the encryption key and something could go wrong. The feds could shut down their server. Their server could be taken offline by an ISP, internet service provider, that thinks something shady and turns the server off. There's a lot that can go wrong in this process. It's not necessarily a 5 or 10 minute window. Sometimes you're talking about hours. And quite frankly, I'm pretty technical. I've tried to buy Bitcoin, which is now the currency that they're asking for because it's non-traceable. For the past year or two, they were using MoneyGrams. So you would go to Walgreens, Walmart, Rite Aid, places like that, and you would wire money to an address that was spoofed. They'd get the wire through this email address that they'd stolen. They'd shut the email address down immediately thereafter. That's a lot of work for them, and quite frankly, it's slow. And they have to wait for people to go to the store and wire the money, and there's time involved there. You can't exactly ask somebody to take out their MasterCard or Amex because that's traceable, and they'd get caught pretty quickly. So what they do is they ask you to use Bitcoin. I've tried to buy Bitcoin. I've done it successfully at this point, but it's not easy. So there's time there. And in all of that time that you're attempting to pay so that they'll send a key, and then you'll have to figure out what to do with that key, etc., a lot can go wrong, and the process could be stopped, and now you've paid them and you still don't get things back. So what do we do about it? Well, if you're hit, we've got to make a decision, right? You have to decide which route you're going to go. Before you're hit is what I want to talk about a little bit, because if you have good backups and they're rotated out and not connected to the server at all times or to your environment, if you have great antivirus software and consistent antivirus software on all of your machines, and they're all up to date, not expired, and if you do all the right things up front, you have a good firewall, you're significantly limiting the chance that they're going to be able to carry out an attack anyway. Now, nothing's foolproof, nothing is bulletproof. My clients, Veranda Technologies clients, are very, very well protected. Our managed clients that have contracts with us have excellent protection. We have, good firewalls, hardware firewalls in place, obviously great antivirus software, and rotated backups. That's wonderful. Training is still an issue. You want to make sure that your employees know, you can have the best backups and the best antivirus software, and if you get an email that says, immediately open this email because the IRS is going to audit you, or turn your telephones off or whatever, or if you get a call from somebody claiming to be from Microsoft and they say there's a problem with your computer, we need you to let us onto the computer so that we can take a look at it, and you give them access to do that, no security software is going to help you. Backups will, if you have backups that are off-site. The way off-site backups work, and we'll do a future video on this, but you would have multiple hard drives, let's say 2 hard drives, one that's plugged into the server at all times, and then once a week you unplug that drive, you plug in a different drive. If something should happen, all of your files get encrypted. Let's say everything on the server gets hit. You're only going to lose a week's worth of work, a week's worth of data, because that other drive is out in a glove compartment in somebody's house, the owner's house, the office manager's house. You can swap drives between the home and the office, etc. As long as you have data not connected, you're in good shape. Now, a lot of people use services like Carbonite, and I'm not picking on Carbonite. Carbonite's a wonderful service. I'm not in any way slandering Carbonite. Your data is still cloud-based. It's connected. So if you get an encryption virus and all of your files are encrypted, Carbonite sees those files as changed and immediately backs them up. So your backed up files are worthless. So Carbonite's great if a computer dies, if you have a fire in the building, a flood in the building, an electrical failure, lightning, some catastrophic hardware event. It's not great for encryption or viruses, because your files will be backed up. Now, some services like Carbonite, and I believe they're one of them, have gotten wise and keep revisions of files. That gets a little messy when you need to restore them. You could feel comfortable inside and warm and fuzzy that your stuff is backed up. Getting it back is going to be a challenge. So we recommend good hard drive local backups in the office that get rotated out or pushed up to the cloud after that point, that aren't connected any longer. We recommend great antivirus. If you want to talk to us about any of these things, if you think perhaps you're not your office isn't up to speed, up to date, please reach out to us. We'll leave the phone number, the email address, and the website in just a minute here. There's a new breed of antivirus software coming out that will run alongside your typical antivirus software, and it traditionally, or rather, it doesn't look for the traditional. It looks for specifically how the encryption viruses work, and I don't want to get too detailed too quickly because your eyes will glaze over and we'll have problems. But the way ransomware works, it has to be executed differently because of what it's doing. So companies are now writing specific software to look for those types of behaviors, and you can talk to us about those too. We're getting ready to roll that out for all of our clients in the near future. As soon as we test it, make sure that it's up to our standards. You can reach us by phone, 732-743-5772. Our email address is helpdesk@verandatech.com. That's helpdesk@verandatech.com. Or you can visit our website, verandatech.com. We're on Facebook as well. I hope these videos are informational. I hope that people are getting something out of them. If you have a topic you would like covered, email us, call us, let us know. Have a wonderful week.